A Boeing 737 operated by First Air was conducting a flight from Yellowknife, Northwest Territories to Resolute Bay, Nunavut on August 20th, 2011. There was a total of 8 passengers and 4 crew on board the flight. The Captain John Doe, who was the first officer on the Boeing 737 until May of 2008, when he was promoted to the captain position. He was employed for 15 years at First Air and gained experience flying in the unforgiving Arctic. He was very familiar with the uncontrolled airspace operations at Resolute Bay. The first officer, Jane Doe, was moved to an FO position on the Boeing 737 in June of 2011. During Jane's 4 years of employment at First Air, Jane gained experience flying in the Arctic. The 737 has 3 compasses, 2 main compass systems that are driven by the flux valves. Compass number 1, that is adjusted by the captain, drives the captain's RMI and the first officer's gyro. Compass number 2 drives the first officer's RMI and the captain's gyro. When information differs from the captain's and first officer's instruments, a light illuminates to help identify the problematic instrument. During cruise flight, both pilots adjusted their gyros to match with true north headings. Up north, so close to the magnetic poles, the variation is so great that the information given by the compass is unreliable. The flight must be conducted based on true north headings. The crew used the GPS to sync the analog gyros to true headings and track. It was noted that Compass 2 drifted more than Compass 1, up to 17 degrees. This made the captain's HSI and the first officer's RMI show a disagreement between their instruments. This would trigger the light to illuminate, concluding a problematic instrument.
First Air 6560.
Glide slope?
Glide slope is
Alive.
yes, alive.
Oh, okay.
The localizer is
I don't know why. We're on the autopilot.
Captain. We are not on the auto approach. We are just on the flight director.
No, we are on the approach. We're on the not just the flight director. We're going back. We're coming back. Don't worry.
Captain, can you confirm the deflection?
It's weird. Why is it deflected if you're on the localizer?
Sir, we are not on the localizer.
No, we are on the localizer. Don't worry. Give me the landing
However,
checklist.
during the approach, the pilots began to configure the airplane for landing. Unfortunately, the alert was likely cancelled or not perceived by the crew during the approach. The 737 crossed 10,000 feet at 310 knots. The first officer did not mention the high-speed descent rate. The aircraft reached 600 feet above the normal descent profile. The weather conditions were poor, with ceilings at 300 feet and visibility at 5 miles. The crew was still within limits for an ILS approach for runway 35. The captain intercepted the ILS using the LOC function of the autopilot to guide the plane into the ILS. If the lateral inputs are applied, the autopilot changes modes. At this point, the captain was in control of the airplane, even though the autopilot was engaged. The aircraft drifted right of the localizer. The first officer realized the mistake and alerted the captain of the situation.
Why is it showing to the right if you are aligned to the runway? It doesn't make any sense.
The first officer stated several times of his concerns with the approach. The captain rejected the first officer's suggestions to abort the approach, even after the first officer stated the full localizer and glide slope deflection. The aircraft was set up for landing when the first ground proximity warning system alerted sink rate.
Terrain, pull up.
The first officer stated a go-around, while the proximity warning alerted minimums. The captain replied takeoff thrust less than 1 second before the aircraft collided with terrain 1 mile east of the center point of the Resolute Bay runway. In the end, all 4 crew members and 8 passengers were killed on impact. Part 1. These are the actual events that took place on Flight 6560. The first officer only had 100 hours on type. He could have been intimidated by the captain's experience. Clear to localizer, runway 36, call when established.
Clear to join the localizer, first air 6560.
Okay, I've set the nav approach here. Can you call me?
CDI alive.
Check. And we have localizer ready. She cleared us to the localizer, so I'm gonna set the approach here, okay? Yeah, we'll slow down a little bit. It's not working, so I'm gonna just track it by manually.
Localizer.
Correcting. Approach checklist.
Anti-ice.
Off.
Aircon and press.
Set.
TREV speed.
We're gonna approach at 90 and we're gonna cross the runway at 80.
Altimeter and
Flap stand, please.
flap stand.
Okay. Light slope.
Light slope is
Alive.
yes, alive.
Okay.
The localizer is
I don't know why. We're on the autopilot.
Captain. We are not on the auto approach. We are just on the flight director.
No, we are on the approach. We're on the not just the flight director. We're going back. We're coming back. Don't worry.
Captain, can you confirm the fluid deflection?
It's weird. Why is it deflected if you're on the localizer?
Sir, we are not on the localizer.
No, we are on the localizer. Don't worry. Give me the landing checklist.
Engine start switch.
Continues.
Master caution recall.
Check.
Speed brake.
Armed.
Landing gear.
Down 3 green.
Flaps.
Give me a flap 20.
Flap 20. Landing checklist complete.
Thank you. I don't understand. We should be back to the localizer.
There it is. The localizer is not on capture. We are on the flight director. Captain, there is the hill to the right of the runway. The GPS is also showing to the right.
Why is it showing to the right if you were aligned to the runway? It doesn't make any sense.
Captain, we should go around.
We don't need to go around. We are fine here. I mean, we're tracking back. At any moment, we're gonna spot the runway anyways.
We need to go around. I don't like this.
Secret, secret.
Go for it!
No,
Hold up,
we're
hold up.
good. Oh,
Minimums, minimums.
Okay.
Part 2. This simulation will show the first officer overtaking the captain's authority and being assertive. We will see what the results are.
Captain, localize.
Correcting?
Captain, localizer.
That doesn't look right. We should be on the localizer, right?
We have full deflection.
We don't. We don't.
Captain, we need to go around.
No, we're gonna be fine. Don't worry.
I have control.
Part 3. The final simulation will show both the captain and the first officer working together and correcting the mistakes that took place on Flight 6560. This is the outcome.
Localizer.
Correcting?
Captain, we have full deflection.
Okay, we are going around. Go around power, set, landing gear up, please.
Landing gear up.
Flaps 10.
Flaps 10.
Now you call.
Redirect tower, this is first air 6560, we are going around.
6560, climb, maintain 5,000.
Climb to 5,000 and maintain 5,000. First air 6560.
Thank you. Good.
As we begin our preparations for the approach, we are now flying the west side of the intersection. But something different had happened. We can see here that the instrument comparator light has been illuminated. And now there is a huge difference between the RMI and the HSI on the captain side. And this happened most likely because there was a drift between systems here. We're gonna proceed, just start descending to lose our intersection. We should be at 1,800 feet here, but we're gonna climb 600 feet above this recommended altitude because this is how the system works on the 1700. And here the pilots are setting lots of things because they're preparing. They follow the GPS approach just to line up with the runway, and then they use the ILS to capture the localizer. Here's 200 feet. Now that we've reached 2,400 feet, we start to prepare the aircraft for the approach. You can see that the speed is slowing down. Now we're gonna set just a little bit of speed just to match the conditions of flight. 6560. We're setting the fin brake arm position and VOR and localizer for our systems. But now the pilots usually, that's my theory, the pilots usually set, they check the system here just to make sure there's no errors here. Let's just assume that in this moment here, the system was being checked, and then pilots clicked here, push cancel. So the system was canceled here, and now there is no information about the error in the heading system. So now the pilots are capturing the localizer here, and I'm going to apply light movement to the left here, and we can see that in this scenario the CWS system is not working, and the VOR localizer is no longer being used. Now you're gonna start descending, and you see here on my system on the captain's side, it's showing me that I'm